Hello, everybody, and welcome to another adventure of the Dark Eye, Adventures in Aventuria. I am coming in for yet another one-shot where we delve deeper into the lore, the legend, and the legacy of Aventuria, the beloved continent where these adventures take place. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm the host of WebDM Plays. You saw me on the pre-show. Now you get to see me during the actual game, and then you'll see me on the post-show. So there's Past Grant, Double Past Grant, and then Future Grant. They're the three Grants of Christmas. Before we get into the game, let's go around and see who we're playing with today. So, on the left side of your screen, Jim Davis. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Did some sledding this morning in very sticky snow and ran right over my son, burying him in the snow and ruining all hopes that he would have of an awesome snow sledding experience. So doing great, doing really great.
I didn't know until right now, as the mother of said child, that it was that bad.
It was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
Okay.
I'm doing great, Grant. Good. I'm excited to play Gerion.
Well, now that we have delved deeper into the household secrets, we'll see what secrets the adventure will uncover. And Emma, how are you?
I'm good. I slept until nearly 11 today, and that hasn't happened in at least a decade. I'm having a good time. I feel like a human being. I got to make hot cocoa for a aforementioned traumatized child, and that's always a nice thing. It makes you feel like you're doing the mom thing right when you make hot cocoa after a cold play in the snow. And I'm glad that I didn't know how bad that event was until now. He seems fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
I'm very happy to be here and be Ortlieb. And I've been eating sausages and things for about 48 hours straight. So it's for character, not for holidays.
Old Ortlieb loves the sausage, so they say.
He does. He loves sausage and pie.
So, sausage and pie, sausage and pie, how do you measure their worth? Today we are taking a one-shot out of, again, our wonderful pre-published material, which you can check out. We'll be cycling links through the chat during the course of the episode, and this one comes from the first adventure published in English for 5th edition Dark Eye, Revelations from Heaven. You might have seen it played on Ulysses Spiela's channel or Ulysses International, but there may be some subtle variations. For example, I'm an expert in the rules. I'm not an expert in the rules. They're an expert in the rules. But we'll make it happen, Captain. So I'd like to set the scene for this adventure. Ortlieb is driving a small wagon down the beautiful countryside of Kosh. Now, Kosh is a picturesque region in the Midden Realm. So it's between the Forged Mountains and the, goodness gracious, what are the other mountains called? They are called the mountains. Oh, the Kosh Mountains. Yeah, Kosh is bordered by the Kosh Mountains and the Forge Mountains. The Great River, and then there's also the river Rukula and Ang, which are surrounding it. But this is just a lovely time of year and a lovely part of the world. There are many meadows. It's considered a lowland area, though it's surrounded by mountains. There's conifer forests. And there's a variety of towns in the area. But you are drawing one such villager from a larger town. He had been doing some trading in Furdock. And you are bringing him back to his village of Oldenbridge, so that he might participate in the annual tithes. He has informed you that there is also an abundance of livestock for purchase in Oldenbridge this time of year. It's the post-tithe purchase, and those that sell this livestock hope to use the revenue to pay tribute to their gods. And so, the name of this individual riding along with you is Angus Fieldmouse. a family field mouse. And Gerion is there as well. And it is at that point there's an uncommon occurrence that begins to occur on this beautiful day. You begin to hear the bleating of sheep. Bleat, bleat, bleat. And you see one sheep come running down the road past you. It's like a little white cloud. Yes, but shortly after that, you see two other running off in other directions as well. It almost looks like... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said it's almost like a cloud breaking.
Oh, do they look upset? An angry sheep is pretty easy to spot.
They're very distressed.
Seen a few distressed sheep in my day.
Make a perception notice check for me, and I'll give you a bonus of 4. Either Gerion or Ortlieb, whoever has the better skill, can make the check.
I have 5 points in perception.
Let's see what I've got. It's not terrible, but it's also... I've got 6.
Then you have at it.
All right, so...
Perceive these sheep.
Sagacity, intuition. Glad I really bumped that intuition. Yep. So that's 12 is going to have to be knocked down to a 9. That's 3. So I have 3 left over. That's what, QL1?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You hear what can only be described as a bird screeching for its life, and then as it comes into a clearer understanding in your mind, that's a human voice screaming, and you see Break coming over the hill and running down, stained in blood, a beautiful young woman with long golden hair. She has a smaller lamb pressed to her chest, and she's coming over, and then you see almost what looks like a boulder roll up the hill, and then it stands on its back legs, coming up to be almost 11 feet tall. It is a bear.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Jeez. A bear.
A bear.
All right. I was going to say, I wish it was a boulder person. At least I would feel like maybe I could do something, but this is a bear.
It's a bear. Roll initiative for me.
Oh, God. Does it... All right. So does it look unnatural in any way? Like, is it rabid or...
Not that you can tell. It's very upset.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know shit about animals.
You or
Gerion. I know things about animals.
You do.
Come on. I was almost an Eagle Scout. Hadn't dropped out because it was too much work.
I got 2 merit badges. I got genealogy and sports, and they gave them to me even though I didn't do any of the requirements. But I've sat on over 70 Eagle Board of Reviews.
Hey, there you go.
They bring me in anytime they gotta do an Eagle Board of Review. And I ask the really hard historical questions.
Yeah.
Where's the founder of scouting buried?
Where's he buried?
What does it say on his tomb?
What is the meaning of this one thing we do at the annual Jamboree?
Yes.
Jamboree.
Sorry, the Jamboree something
The
different.
Jamboree. The Hamboree. That'll be this episode. We'll do a Hamboree. Where it's the Ham Fest. There's actually a character. There's 2 characters named Ham in this adventure. Spoilers, but you'll find them later.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Assuming you survive the bear. What do we have?
So I got 20 for Gerion.
15 for Ortlieb.
It'll be you folks, and then the bear.
Okay. Is Angus with us?
Angus is with you, and he goes after the bear.
He's going after the bear. What kind of man is Angus? I'm assuming Angus is a man.
Angus is a man, portly, short in stature, does not smell bad at all. Smells quite nice. Like, if you had to describe him, he is neatly dressed, but not lavishly dressed. He views himself as the city slicker of town because every now and then he goes to Fairdock, but really, what's he do there? He trades livestock. But at home in the village, he's viewed as something of a worldly traveler going 20 miles down the road.
Yeah, big man on the village green. Sure.
Big man on the village green. And he's like, "Ak, it's wee Ermy. She's in trouble.
Wee Ermy.
Wee Ermy, little Ermy."
Okay. He
It's a
seems to know
woman.
this person.
I know her.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so
She's bleeding.
He's going after it. Bleeding or bleating?
She's bleeding. You know, she is stained in blood.
Oh, okay.
She's been hit by
there
that
is
bear.
a lamb bleeding as well. All right.
Lamb's blood.
So I would prefer not to fight a bear with a sword, if that's at all possible. So Gerion is going to. Gosh, is there something to? Man, I wish I had like a javelin or something. I do have a crossbow. It's a light crossbow. He's not particularly good at it, but we have established in the fiction that when he travels, he's got his light crossbow out, and we'll use it if need be. Where is it? All right, I got it. 12. That's it. All right, I passed my test.
All right, we'll make a defense roll for this do-wah diddy-diddy-dum diddy-do. The bear does not make its defense roll, and so you're going to do some damage to it.
All right. Now the question is what kind of damage does it's D6 plus 4 for crossbow. I'm going to spend a fate point and re-roll that 1.
That'll do
Boom,
you well.
6. So that makes it to a 10.
10? That's brilliant. That is quite a bit of bear damage.
I'll say.
It is up to you, Ortlieb. We're moving to your turn.
All right. So Ortlieb, currently he's still driving this cart. So what he's going to do is he's going to find a safe place to park it. Hopefully that's not, in line with the bear. And considering that Ortlieb's primary means of doing damage,
anything between 2 points is a line. So wherever you set the cart, there will be a line drawn between it and the bear.
Just like if there's like a little bend or something. Like
I had to throw that out there. I was just
little
like,
rock.
hold on.
A little rock.
Okay, you want to break line of sight, essentially. So
I want to break line of
gotcha.
sight. And then I'm going to be...
No rocks, though. You're in open fields at this point. There's a hill.
Is this before or after I have my mule fared?
This is after fared.
So fared is here?
Not drunk either.
He's stone sober mule.
Stone sober.
Is he pulling the cart?
No. Fared travels alongside.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull it up, and if I have enough time in this turn, I'm going to let our horse or horses go so that they can.
Yeah, they're like rearing and bucking. They want to get out of there.
So they can GTFO. I'm going to do that because I don't want to punch a bear. Okay. That's really all I'm good at. And nobody should be good at punching bears.
Okay.
No one should.
All right. Bear's going to go. The bear, now that it has been hit, is going to spend its turn closing the distance and coming up to the cart. So that's what it does. So it essentially double moves, so to speak, to get to the cart, and is trying to claw its way into the cart and get at both Ortlieb and the Gerion, but it cannot make an attack this turn because it was too far away. And with that, it's Gerion's turn. Or actually, it's Angus.
Yeah.
Angus screams and pulls out a small dagger and attempts to poke at the bear. He makes a hit. And he does a wee bit of damage. He's like, "I'll defend wee Ermy." Ha! He rolled well. So, yeah, he's like, gets in there and is like jabbing at the bear and finds bear flesh. The bear lets out a mighty scream. However, this damage is enough to put the bear into a frenzy. So when the bear sustains levels of pain or its cubs are threatened, it makes a willpower check, which I did. And it has entered a frenzy, which will last for 25 combat rounds, 2d20.
Damn.
Yes.
Damn, this bear is all right. Okay.
Angry bear.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What I've got so many questions. I don't know how many of them are appropriate for Gerion to actually
Ask any
ask.
of them. I'll let you ask them.
Does it seem like when it goes into a frenzy, I'm assuming now there's no way to like drive it off. Like I was kind of hoping we could just like hurt it enough that it'd be like, screw this. But if it just enraged it,
it's going to make another willpower check next round.
Okay. Second is, are we facing any sort of disadvantage on our part because it's like a huge bear?
Like
I'm not sure if
you end up in melee with it, it probably has a longer reach than you. It's also very powerful.
Oh, sure. Well, it takes me 8 actions to reload my crossbows, so we're throwing that aside and drawing cold steel. Yeah, it's a crossbow.
Yeah.
Okay. As well as
it's about a third of a bear frenzy.
Right, yeah.
What LP do you have? I'm just curious if this thing lays into you, what happens to Gerion?
Let's see. You're talking about life points?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking, LP? Let's see what I got. Where's my character sheet here? I've got 35.
Okay. Good to know.
I bought a couple of extra. But, all right. I just closed out my character sheet. Okay. We're going to try to strike at it. I don't really... Well, now I'm now being one of those players because I'm like, wait a minute, I could check this special rule or that special rule.
It's all right if you do. It might be interesting for some folks.
Yeah. Because I'm looking for any kind of edge over, what do you call it? This beast. Let's see. So I've got like not power attack, but cross block, combat reflexes, deadly thrust. Let me see.
Because I assure you, this thing's going to try to hit you with forceful blows and tear your head off.
Yeah, I've got feint and forceful blow as well as combat reflexes. I was mostly just in the enemy sense. I've never used them, but I at least want to know. Enemy sense is if the enemy makes an attack of opportunity, it's a penalty of 4. Combat reflexes, that increases my initiative. So I've already got that down. And okay, so all right, and then it gets hindering defense. All right. I'm just going to go with a forceful blow as well, because I don't think a feint is going to do anything. None of my other abilities really, like, inured to armor is one thing, but let's go with a forceful blow. So I'm going to take a penalty of 2 in order to increase damage. All right.
Going blow for blow with this bear.
I'm going to try to. Let's do this. That's a hit even with the penalty. So D6. I'm going to spend another fate point to reroll these ones on my damage because I don't feel like messing around with the bear. Good night. All right. I got 1 fate point left. And I do believe that is going to be 16 damage.
I like that we spend all of our fate points during the bear battle to introduce the adventure.
Yeah. To me, I feel like this is the most dangerous thing we fought in
the
Dark Age so far. It's like,
it's the ogre.
Wait a minute. A bear?
It's a bear.
Monsters are bears. So you hit it and you do damage. And how much is that?
16.
16 damage. That's going to be enough for yet another send it into frenzy. Frenzy doesn't stack. I was like, it gets +9 to attack you.
Jeez.
All right. Ortlieb, you're on deck.
All right, Ortlieb's just chatting to himself. He's trying to give himself a little bit of courage. He's just like, I'm gonna punch a bear. It's okay. You've punched things before. It's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna punch a bear. And he's got some actually he's gonna use his cudgel instead of actually getting into like face to face with a bear. But he's gonna try to smack it about the head with a cudgel.
Good on you.
Because he has one. Let me. I thought I had it all scrolled down, and then I didn't. There we go. So I roll. Where is everything? I'm used to having 2 monitors, and I don't today. I hit him. Yeah, because you want to roll low, right?
You do want to roll low.
There we go. I rolled very low. So that is a hit. And I do 1d6 plus 3 damage. I did 5 damage with a cudgel to this bear.
5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly a third of the damage that Gerion has done. But quite good, because this bear is becoming bloodied about the head. Its eyes are swelling. It is angered by the constant damage it's sustaining, as Ortlieb gives it what for. With that said, the bear is going to attempt to tear into Angus.
Angus,
That's
no.
a crit!
Oh, no.
Angus.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, Angus.
So this is a frenzied bear. So the frenzied bear gets a bonus of +4 in close combat. He's doing a forceful blow for an additional 2 points of damage. Because of the frenzy, he gets another 2 points of damage, and he's critted. So it's going to be 1d6 doubled. Yeah.
Oh,
+6, I think, for a total of +10 damage. So that's a 2 and a 6. So 8 plus 10, 18. Angus is now an Angus burger. Just yes. And the second attack of the bear.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Angus goes down.
He's
Angus
dead?
is down. Well, there's 2 hits that are going to hit him. So the second tears into him. He has a little bit of life points left, so the second attack will hit him, and it is enough. I rolled a 3 on the die with all my bonuses. Not to mention, this bear is at an advantage because it can attack from further back. It has a better reach than y'all. With that said, the cudgel still hit it. And they, so that's gonna, Angus is shredded at this point. Angus is down. It is his final moments. And then his final words as he's being torn, he goes, "Protect we Ermy! Protect her!"
With our very lives. Angus.
Then his
My
throat is
friend.
out, and he's
My boon companion. No.
yes. he was just like Ferd the donkey. We need to do we're gonna pause and then cut to a 10-minute montage of all of our great Angus moments. He said, "Ach," and "I'm well to do," and "Protect we Ermy." Next episode will be the Angus tribute episode, and that'll be our finale.
Finale. Angus.
All right, yes. So, that was the bear's turn. Angus would go next, but he is no more. It's Gerion's turn.
Angus, jeez. All right. I'm trying to, let me see real quick, because I was looking at, you mentioned its reach, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing too. So I was just looking to see what I got. My reach is, I believe, medium.
That's good enough. Yeah, that's good for the bear.
Getting up in this bear's grill. Let's see this. Hopefully don't have to spend another thing. So I am going to go with another forceful blow. Oh, if I hadn't, that would give me, that would have hit, but with the penalty, 13.
Uh-oh.
You can't buy it down with skill points. Am I going to have to raise that? So if I'm going to have to use my last fate point, but I'm going to spend that last fate point to improve my result by 2, which I'm guessing instead of like That's the fate point to improve an attack, where it's like you get a bonus of 2 you can spend after the roll.
Mm-hmm.
That would offset the penalty and turn this into a success.
Excellent.
All right. I don't have a fate point to reroll this third one I've gotten for damage, but that'll be 7 damage.
But
bye fate points.
You're very
I'm out of fate points.
Fortunate because the bear was no longer frenzied at the end of its turn, and it has sustained enough damage that it is going to attempt to flee on its turn. You can tell, starting to stumble and back away from Gerion. It does not like what it's dealing with.
No, I don't either. I'm screaming the entire time, by the way.
Yeah.
Gerion's just screaming.
So is Ortlieb. Is it Ortlieb's turn?
Yes.
This bear just hit my friend. I'm going to hit this bear.
Get it.
Even if it's trying to run away.
I hope you turn it into a frenzy again so it no longer tries to run away on its turn.
I rolled a 20.
That's a botch.
It's a botch. I botched it.
All right. So with your critical botch,
yes.
You're going to, I believe you take some damage. You're going to suffer 1d6 plus 2 DP because it is a close combat botch.
Yeah, I like that there's actual examples to choose from.
Mm-hmm. So you take 6 points of damage as you come in to cudgel the bear, and it just swats you away. Giving you a big bear paw, big red mushy print across your face, and a new scar at the top of your head.
Oh my. 6 points,
down.
you said?
Yes.
All right.
But on its turn, it's running away. Going off the road towards the woods. And with that, you have bested the bear challenge.
Yeah, let it run away.
I'm going to jump down to Angus and see if there's anything medically I can do for him to resuscitate him.
No, only a good funeral awaits Angus as his breathing has stopped. And in that short amount of time, less than 45 seconds, Angus has bled out.
Oh my.
But there's someone you might be able to tend to as well. As Ermi collapses, you can see she's pale. She's been bleeding heavily too.
Okay.
And
I'll go rush over to her.
All right. So you rush over to her. She's not quite delirious, but she's frantic. She's like, the bear! He came out of nowhere! It attacked the wee sheeps! The little sheep babies, the little lambs. I didn't think that was going to be a voice, but I guess it is.
Gotta go with it now. You're locked in.
The bear! Oh, bless you, thank you so much for saving me! Then she sees Angus and she shrieks, gasps, and it goes quiet as the grave itself.
You knew each other?
Yes. He was a well-to-do, a rising entrepreneur. Good for a story. Had a crush on my sister. He was a good man. Last of his family.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Well, he was a friend of ours, too. We were escorting him back to Oldenbridge for tithes and religious festival. You said this bear just attacked you?
Yes, I was walking with the sheep, and then this bear, well, I guess it felt threatened by my singing. It heard the noise and it investigated, and then it saw all the wee sheep.
I see. Well,
it was a hungry bear, circle of life, all that. And then, if you'd like, you can perform a treat wounds on her. But she's like, but the sheep! And she looks about, and she's clutching the one tight that's like, meh, and like, you know, this little, meh, that's his head. Meh, and like, you see the other ones have like ran off. I should have brought my lamb chop puppet. Sherry, please. Oh, God.
I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Has several of them.
It does. She takes good care of them. They don't get destroyed.
She's got 3 lamb sheep dogs, dog toys.
I'm going to attempt to treat her wounds, and I'll let her know I've rounded up a sheep or 2 in my day. I'll try to tend to them.
What do you use to bandage her?
I believe I have bandages in my pack.
That's very well prepared. You do not have to tear her clothes or yours.
Yes.
Right, that's similar.
Angus
even though
is
you can't treat
here.
dogs.
He won't need them.
Yeah. I also have a needle and thread if I need them. If I need to give her some stitches or something. I have a wound sewing kit.
So go ahead and make a treat wounds check.
I succeeded outright. I rolled very well. I believe I have 2 QLs on
That's very good. 2 QLs
Yeah.
reduces her level of pain, and she is regenerating more quickly.
Yep.
She's very grateful. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Can you help me collect my sheep? Or are you going straight to the village? To village?"
Of course we'll help you.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Question. Are they trained at all to respond to any commands?
They're not well trained, but if you call their names, they might come.
Well, tell me their names, and I will sing a song to the sheep.
There's Balbina, in Bursel, in Faruna, in Jetty, in Lorena, in Naralda, in Trevina, in Balinor, in Gobram, in Nurbold, and Rumpel, in Traded, and Filber, and Metzel, and Eberholm, and Ulrich, and Reyna, and Mactessa, and Eralda, and this little one, and she holds up the lamb, is Neum. And
Ortlieb
that's all my
remembers.
NPC names for the adventure. I just burned right through them.
You're done.
all.
Very
Nice.
good.
All right. I'm going to, if I can, I want to sort of do a yodel song with all of
Ooh,
their names.
a yodel
remember.
song?
Yes,
With
I wish
all
to.
the names.
Yes, I wish to exert my force of personality to touch the minds of these sheep and tell them it's safe to come home.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
Just gonna drop this in chat because I have the perfect thing for this occasion. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. I had accidentally opened the chat bot for WebDM Twitch, and for those of you watching on Twitch, it's already open. But I accidentally clicked the button because I was trying to click on this Franzoling auf und auf Liebenschlust. It's like my favorite yodeler.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I kind of look like that guy.
Well,
I can dance like him. Yeah, so you are yodeling all their names. Make a singing check because I think
okay.
we can make an argument because there are actual checks for bringing in the sheep, and this is like a cumulative check test to help the shepherdess. Ear me.
All right. 14, 12. I succeeded with 7. Actually, no, because I'm especially good at it. 8 levels. So is that QL3? Yes.
Oh, that's great. In fact, despite her recent bleeding and the scaredness of the sheep, does Gerion do anything to help as well? Because this, what could have been a tedious chore, sounds like it's going to become light and fun work. Amongst Angus's slowly decaying corpse.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'll wrap him up. I mean, if we need somebody to stay with the cart, pretty much the only way I could see Gerion helping is either feats of strength to like carry carry some sheep if Erme is wounded, or like a perception to just be like, there's one. Otherwise, he's terrible with animals.
I would also like to work in the names of our horses and fared if I can.
Absolutely.
Get them back.
So anyone at this point can also make an animal lore check.
Animal lore.
I mean, if I
Yes.
can just attempt it without needing a
Or
skill.
you can do animal. You can do body control running. Round them up. You could do animal lore domesticated animals to sort of lure them in. There is an abundance of music that's helping.
Very good. Yeah, I don't mind chasing after them.
Great.
He'll take off his take off the armor he's wearing. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's make a running check. See what you get QL wise.
Body control. Body control is agility, con. And that is, yep. Past all of those. That is going to be 3 QLs.
3 QLs is enough. You have rescued enough sheep to sustain the flock. Give me 1 second. I've got to pause out. I'm getting hit up on the phone. And ta-da! All right. So you have collected and gathered up all the remaining sheep. Irmi is very, very grateful. While you were collecting sheep, and it took about an hour, which is very fortunate. You got all the sheep. If none were rescued, wolves would have eaten them at night. So, she took the time to wrap Angus's body and prepare him for internment at the Boren Yard, which is where Oldenbridgers are buried in their village. And with that, you are free to continue to make your way back to Oldenbridge, or rather, Oldenbridge for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
It can't be that far, right?
It's not that far. You are, roughly like an hour or two away. Okay. And so, the sun is setting and the first stars are appearing in the sky. You are all bathed in the warm light of the setting sun. This is like the end of Disney's version of the Black Cauldron, where you're all marching towards the sunset together. Fluter Flam and Gurgi and Taran the Wanderer and Princess Alonway. I'm just going to keep going through all the names that I'm
just going to keep going through it, yeah.
Yeah, but you are... Yeah, you have come upon the peaceful village of Oldenbridge. It's a small settlement. It's not very large at all. There are a few structures. There's at least 10 structures in town. There's a collection of small huts. You can see woods surround the village. 1 second. I'll put a picture of the village in chat, just so you can see. It's kind of like a village map. So I'll have that up in a second. And as you're approaching, she's announcing that she's like, we bring great news and solemn tides. Alas, poor Angus Field Mouse has fallen. And, like, people take their hats off their head. They seem thrilled that she's okay. And a few people come forward. There's the grocer, Edel. And Edel's like, Who are these folks that have saved you? She's like, they're the heroes of Fairdock. They escorted young Angus and gave him a ride back. But alas, a bear, that's when, like, 5 or 6 people in town, they're like, a bear was attacking? Who? Yeah, in the player aid section of the Discord, I am placing the map. Ta-da! Yeah. So you can see it's just a small village. There's a mill, a tavern, a smithy, grocers, a shrine of Prios, and the Boren Yard, which is where they will lay. Like, we should have a funeral in 2 days' time after the tithe.
Yeah.
Give time to prepare the body and gather other field mice from the fields.
Judging by their reaction, is there any like this seem odd? Like it seems
Yeah.
like
That a bear would attack now?
Well, they've just never seen anything like that, let alone... Here's the thing. If a bear's nearby, you're dead. You don't live to tell the tale. So some young woman coming up and telling the story of a bear that was fought off by humans? That doesn't happen in these parts.
okay.
You're
Gotcha.
food. And they're like, and not a single sheep was lost, which is what they are most amazed by, that no sheep were lost. And she's very clearly covered in blood, and they can see her great scratches. But Edel, the grocer, comes up and is like, "To whom do we owe the the life of young Irmi to? What great wanderers, excuse me, and travelers," as my energy drink runs through me quickly. He belches. What great travelers do we? As he snacks on a Slim Jim. Who here has rescued one of the beloved daughters of Oldenbridge?
Most of that honor belongs to my companion Gerion here. I'm Ortlieb. I assisted and didn't really do much with the bear, but I helped round up the sheep.
Hail Gerion! They all say in unison, Hail Gerion!
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Gerion, son of Karina, and I killed the bear. Drove it off. I didn't kill it.
Drove off the bear.
Drove off the bear. I feel
Stout
like
woman with a bandaged hand and her hair's up in a bun says, "Beautiful makeup," from the back. I'd like the idea that canonically you're made up at all times now.
Oh yeah.
But
Thank you. So maybe Gerion, I think, maybe feels a bit of responsibility, like, yeah, we'll get you there, Angus, no problem. You got this tithe you got to make, you got to go back to the place of your birth, kind of thing, but Gerion is also, so Gerion feels sort of a sense of responsibility, like so that's where he's coming from. He's like, we were supposed to get Angus here safely for the tithe. Is there any, like, does he have any obligation or I'm not sure how things work out here in Kosh.
At that point, a woman with short blonde hair, she is dressed in a white and red robe, seems to descend from the shrine area of the village, and she speaks. Angus Fieldmouse, the member of our village, paid his tithes. She kind of sings it. With his life and the chest of silver, which you keep in your wagon. She is a blessed one of Prios. And she sings that he paid his tithe with his life, but also he has some chest of silver.
Certainly, yeah.
We shall feast in your honor in the tavern, and give you tribute as the heroes that you are.
That sounds great, actually. That sounds very, very nice.
I would love to help in the feast, for I am a traveling merchant and gourmand. I was actually coming here. I had some hope that Angus was going to teach me the ways of livestock commerce. I was hoping to attend an auction or something. It seemed like fun.
He could teach you many things in the ways of our village. Everything she says is going to be sung like that.
I love it.
And you will become wise in ways of silver, in the need of supplying food at the feast. We would love to taste your sausage, for its reputation precedes you far and wide. The legend is growing. And then they sound a gong in the shrine. I know those of you in chat might say that the Prios faith doesn't have gongs in their shrines. Hers does for this session.
All religions are way more complicated than
Yes.
what they look like at the top view. Sure.
Yes.
Dig it.
Yes, and so that is Prayundi. She is the blessed one of the village. And the village they worship multiple gods of the 12. If you want to do a knowledge check of the region, some of the things you would know on the surface level is they tend to worship Travia's one of them, and the other one. Goodness gracious, did I close my? Okay, there's my notes. I took notes who they worship. Ingarim, the god of the forge, and Parain, the god of livestock, essentially. So, yes, they are willing to hold a feast in your honor, and you are allowed to help cook. Now, a woman speaks up. It's the same one that complimented Gerion's makeup, or lack thereof. The stout woman with the bandaged hand. She goes, "Oh, shucks, let us do the cooking. I'm sure he cooks fine, but I got a nice roast I want to make for him. Legendary in these parts. You wouldn't be disappointed. It's a tasty ale."
I would like to just see how you do it. I part of why I travel is to sample regional delicacies.
Well, you're welcome in my kitchen any time. She says with a wink, and then she makes her way back to the Green Grain Tavern, which is the tavern.
Green grain.
It's actually called the Grain Room, but Green Grain was all I had in my head at the time.
Why did she wink at me? I don't understand.
She probably likes the cut of your jib. She likes the look of you. Finds you have a pleasing countenance. No.
I suppose. That doesn't happen to me.
She probably fancies you. Something.
Oh, no. That can't be it. Let's see.
I mean, there's a match for everyone out there, Ortlieb. You got to be open to the possibilities.
Don't need it. Just fine.
Jeremy chimes in because she's still there, and she's like, "You got to be open to the possibilities."
Thank you, Ermi.
You got what?
Just listen to your bodies. And then she kind of slinks away.
Nope. Nope. Ortlieb walks away.
Secret worshiper of, what's her name? Raja?
Oh, yes, Raja.
All right. Gerion recognizes his own co-religionists. He's going to head straight to the Green Grain Tavern. Because if there's carousing to do, he'd prefer that.
There is, and we're going to fast forward. And I think, I imagine that at this point, Ortlieb and Gunelda are bringing out the roast together. Like, one large a platter. And it's kind of like, here we are, two of us like ships upon a winding river. And you place it down together. There is no romantic interest there. There's there's no song. There's no music. But they are like they're playing some like raucous hillbilly Kosh jams here in the tavern. There is heavy drinking already going on. They shout and a cheer. I think Gerion is deep in the cups already.
Certainly.
And at this point, Gerion is surrounded by members of the village. So a man speaks to Gerion, and this man, he has a large mole on the end of his nose. In one of his eyes wanders a little bit, but he has a strong hand. He's like, "That's a large weapon. Do you use it often, Sir Knight?"
Yeah, of course I do. What are you? Well, yeah, all the time. This is the one I killed the bear with as well.
Oh,
and he's like, check it out.
You killed the bear.
Like, you didn't kill the bear.
Did you bring any of the meat? How did you kill it? Says another one, and this is Hecklor. He's kind of speaking up. He's a very slouchy, and he's just like, "How did you kill it?"
Oh yeah, well, like I wounded it several times. What first one with the crossbow, which is this one right here, and then the sword, and it backed off a little bit, and I'm assuming it died because we cut it up really good. So yeah,
Bled out. Did it?
it's most certainly bled out somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a third lad. This is Peregrine. I go, so the bear fled like a coward and didn't stay strong.
No, not at all. It really just got out of there, After, well, I mean, it went straight after Angus, which seemed weird. But yeah, it was right out. It was fine, it's just right out of there.
There's an elderly man kind of places his hand on Ortlieb's shoulder and says, "They say you traveled far, far, far to the south. Was there really a land of sand?"
Yes, I have been there.
What were the people like? I have never seen a land of sand, and I'm very old.
They're not significantly different than you, completely different flavor profiles of everything, of course. I can show you some of the things that I have, some souvenirs. Some of them are available for but a nominal fee.
I would love to see that, and I am, quite well off, and I would love nothing more than to fritter away my fortune in my old age. Do you have any baubles?
Give me a moment. I have a traveling. I have a display for you, if you would. Give me a moment. I need to go consult with my mule, and be back.
All right.
I'll get you things. I've got I've got gustatory delights. I have stories and songs of measure, and I also have objects you can keep with you for a lifetime.
I'm on a very bland diet, so whatever songs or stories you can tell, that is what I would treasure the most.
Well, then I will tell him the story of when I cooked dinner for a dragon.
And at that, there's at this point, three young ladies. These are the granddaughters of that man, Gobram Applebottom, or Applestone. That's what it is, not Applebottom. Gobram, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, he tells the story so vividly and so well. It's like every detail. It's like the dragon was here with us."
Yes, it is, and that's where Gerion learned how to put on eyeliner.
They giggle. It's a good look. Why don't you wear any? One of the daughters asks.
Cleaning. It's sanitary sanitation. You don't want, you don't want to lose an eyelash in your stew or whatnot.
They nod.
A very sensitive skin, as well.
So
it's not for me.
This celebration is going on for hours, and at one point, a special toast is given to you by Priondi, the Blessed One, and she's like, "And thank them so much for saving wee Ermi, and for creating this delicious meal." And it's going on and on. The innkeeper too praises Ortlieb for being the mastermind behind the roast. She says, "Now, I thought I knew how to cook a roast, and I make a pretty good roast, but the process is completely different from where he's from. I mean, when he finishes it, it still has flavor." And they all laugh. Her roast is bad. Is there anything you want to do or any questions you have for these town folks over the course of the evening?
I don't know. I think this might be an area where I can see my understanding of things might not match up with the world's Aventuria's conception. Because to me, I hear bear attack in the middle of nowhere, even on like a sheep flock, as being weird and out of the ordinary. But bear attacks are also sort of a standard RPG sort of thing. So I'm not sure if it is noteworthy that this thing happened.
I'll put it like this: I've been attacked by a bear twice in my life. Like,
okay,
so
I've only
for me,
seen a bear once in the wild. Just
they're
the one
terrifying,
bear.
and
They're huge,
really scary.
Okay,
and so this is more like, so like if you were, we'll use real world terms. If you're going down the Delaware River, there's a lot of bears, and the bears typically don't want things there. Bear was really just hungry. It was following its nose.
Sure. Okay.
Thought it heard birds singing because Ermi had, a beautiful higher voice. It's not like she was shouting or banging pots. And so it's not like there was a supernatural cause. However, someone says if you show a hint of suspicion.
Yeah, Gerion's just gonna be like, the bears where I live are just like, they're nothing like this thing, It's like,
yeah, Ortlieb's like, it's springtime. There must be a lot of different options for bears to attack things that are not humans or guarded by humans.
So one of the folks, I'm just gonna call him Knucklebrow for the sake of it because I like weird names. Yeah. Knucklebrow goes, you might ask Jadwine. She'd know. She knows them woods well. She knows what animals typically do things. She might have a good explanation. She's
Is she here?
She should be here. Don't see her though. But she was invited to the party. I just don't see her. Gerion doesn't either. How good is your perception?
Me?
Yeah, are you going to try to...
It is not as good as Gerion's. It is
Gerion's night blind, though.
Yeah, Gerion's night blind.
It's dark enough in here.
Well, I'm not particularly trained in it, but my stats are strong.
And if it matters, Gerion almost botched his carousing check.
It will.
He was one away from a botch, but he does not have, even with his 10, does not have enough points to bring it to a success. So he is...
I just barely make it using up all my points.
Just barely?
Mm-hmm. Just barely.
So I've dropped her photo in the player aids. You do see a dark-haired woman. Her hair is pulled up. A huntress of sorts, who is kind of keeping quietly to herself in the corner and sort of watching the festivities. Every now and then she does sip out of a, it looks like a homemade cup that she brings in.
Oh, there she is.
What? Who?
This lady, Ortlieb remembers her name. That was told to
Jadwine.
Just a moment ago. Jadwine. Yes, Jadwine. There she is. I'm gonna go speak to this person. Why didn't she see Ortlieb or Gerion?
It's really, really dark and hazy in here, and like,
It's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, old friend. Come with me.
Yeah, let's go. Come on. Where is she?
I take him by the hand and lead him up to her table.
All right.
Jadwine, I'm told that's your name.
She nods. She doesn't blink, and her eyes never leave you. She seems a little nervous that the two heroes of the party are coming and talking to her.
Oh. Ortlieb gives her a sort of disarming smile and says, I don't mean to bother you, but we're told that you know the ways of the woods. And we can't stop thinking about this bear that attacked us. We're wondering if you have any thoughts about why this may have occurred.
She takes a small bite of a biscuit, chews it nice and long, dips it in her drink, takes another bite, chews it nice and long. Then I like to build up the anticipation. Just like she goes,
"Is that true?" Or
and she goes, an elf agitated it. out of the woods.
An elf?
He's an agitator. Local. He had been getting into disagreements with the bear for weeks now.
With the bear?
With the bear. The bear would very much like to eat whatever it finds around the elf's home. And so the elf sent the bear off outside of its, well, usual lounging spot. It found its way to the flock. And she dips the biscuit a few more times. Chomps, crunches it a little bit.
Do you know this elf?
Not well. I've had no intention of getting to know him. He's a bit of a troublemaker. He comes to town from time to time.
Then how do you know about this? It seems like a pretty unusual disagreement to be aware of.
I know the woods very well, and I watch things.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it's an ongoing disagreement, do you think that this sort of thing is liable to happen again?
No, the way I heard the story told, the bear died. Her eyes turn unblinking and looks at Gerion.
The bear did die because if you were cut up that many times, you like the bear doesn't have anyone to bandage it back up. You know,
It is possible that those were mortal wounds, but drawing on my treat wounds knowledge, I'm going to say it's not necessarily fatal. Bears are...
The bear has an abundance of subcutaneous fascia.
oh,
Sorry, so I'm thinking back to all the surgical videos I made. That's fat beneath the skin. You cut blubber. No vital
keep your
organs.
magic language to yourself.
Yeah, so she goes, well, I saw the bear today. He's unhappy, but he's alive.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Probably going to be infected. Will be dead in a week. Or
okay. All right. Well, that's good. I mean,
probably
bad.
doesn't seem good enough. I feel like
bear's useful around these parts. Balances the ecology of the situation.
Sure.
Perhaps we should try to smooth things over with this elf. I feel like we owe it to Angus.
Or to the bear. Yeah. Well, I mean, if the bear was like, if somebody upsets me and I go to I bump into somebody on the street, then like it's not that person's fault, and it's not my fault either. So let's go talk to the elf.
She seems a little edgy. She goes, "What about Angus?" She's not aware that Angus has died. She was investigating bears at that time.
Sure.
Sorry to tell you, ma'am, but Angus did not make it back from his encounter with the bear.
What do you mean Angus didn't make it back? He was coming. He was going to teach some new fancy pants how to deal in the livestock in the area.
That was
pants. They are fancy.
They're actually quite simple, but very well made.
That stitching's not local.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry to say, he did not survive.
She seems bothered by this news, but you can also tell like it's a deep internal hurt. She goes, "Are they burying him tomorrow?"
I believe it was the day after.
Why?
Said in 2 days, right? After the tithe.
Fucking tithes, she says, and then she just kind of like shakes her head and walks off.
They take these seriously around here. There's someone who came and sang about it whenever they took Angus.
She's still singing now.
Oh yeah, stop. I didn't notice anymore.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna be right back
To the heroes party.
Ryan's gonna walk off. Right.
If you'd like to leave a donation in the jar, I think we should reward them for their heroic efforts and possibly Angus's funeral fund, for he was left with no kin or family of his own. His line has ended forever. He missed the opportunity to settle down within the village. And died a bachelor forever. She's running out of things to sing about.
Keep it on track. Somebody get this priest a drink. So yeah, Gerion is going to get up and go mingle and party some more. He didn't realize that Ortlieb was bringing him over there to just talk to someone. So he's going to go back to the party, but he'll make he'll catch Ortlieb's eye and just be like, and head back like I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry, and let's talk later kind of.
All right. I'm gonna give him a look which conveys you'd better not be hungover tomorrow, because we're gonna go talk to an elf and maybe kill a bear.
He's gonna be hungover tomorrow. He failed that carousing roll.
Yeah, like
I would cry.
Yeah, essentially, you will be hungover tomorrow, and there's some other things that pass through the town. So, everyone here praises, just how nice Gunelda, the innkeeper, is. There's a few things that you hear that the tithe is late this year. It's all because Priandi, the Blessed One, twisted her ankle and couldn't come down to collect tithes. And they had to delay everything. Likewise, all the food for the meal, all the meat was caught by Jadwine, the sulking huntress. So she was off hunting all day, and then during the hunt, found the bear. And the grocer here, Edel, he greeted you when he came into town. He's just like, I can't seem to find my clutch. His little purse. He's just like, I can't find my clutch. However will I pay for this meal without my clutch?
Oh. Well, I got you. I got you, Edel. This is the last of my the money I took from a dragon's hoard. Here, let's give this guy a meal. Nobody's gonna go hungry at our victory feast.
By this point, I will have my my little display of trinkets for sale from my many travels.
You sell all of it. They're throwing down their hard-earned coin, and like they said too, you know what? People should come to Oldenbridge more often. What about Overbridge? Overbridge. So essentially, that's a small town. It expanded, and there's like newer houses that are still like 60 years old. But like they're just like, nah, those people that live over the bridge, and it's like 5 families. They're just like, they're the newly rich. But yeah, they're just like, we get taxed hard by, all the leaders of this great province, and life hits us hard, and this is rough country. And, we just appreciate someone coming through and, introducing us to the wonders of the world.
My pleasure. This is a lovely, quaint place you have. I mean, if you wish more people to go, certainly could be a tourist destination for
the old man's
city folk.
The old man's also keeping everyone honest at the till too, and explain that they should put more in, and explains how you have seen a land of sand to the south, that it does in fact exist.
It's true. I have small vials of sand available for purchase.
In fact, it was blessed by the Archabbas.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah. And the night goes on, and everyone just has a wonderful, wonderful meal. Now, you failed your carousing check. You have avoid drug intoxication.
I was. I'm specialized in resisting drug intoxication. Oh. No, even though I'm specialized or have a specialty in it, it's not enough to save me from that failure.
All right, you have 2 levels of stupor, and you're going to be badly hungover the next day.
Is that in addition to the confusion that you get from
I think so, yes.
Okay.
This is a special effect of their bridge brew, which is their local
Okay.
drink.
All right.
That's what one thing, chat, and those of you watching, I love the Dark Eye because there is custom rules for everything, including in the adventures they might design a couple extra things. And they're like, so this is a brew for this town, and here's some extra things that it might do. Ortlieb,
yes.
do you drink anything? Or are you sticking to water?
I drink water. I have a little bit of cider of my own brew.
Ortlieb cider.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so with that, we'll fast forward to the next morning. Gerion awakes with a pounding head. The party the night before was awesome, but he is now praising the price. Ganelda comes to your room because she gave you free rooms at the inn. She's bringing in large bowls of hot water so you can freshen up and clean yourself.
So Gerion has bad habit, late sleeper, and this stupor too says he's lethargic. So I imagine that someone's going to have to come get Gerion up if they want to be any kind of on time today.
Ortlieb gets him up.
Ortlieb, just shut the door. It's too early.
Gerion, it's time to get up. Come on. Come on.
All right.
Yeah, I pull the dad special. I open all the windows and take all your blankets away.
I'll dump a basin of cold water on him.
I'm going to threaten to first, and then I'm going to do it.
You won't do it, Ortlieb. I know you won't do it. It's fine.
The stout woman sticks her head in, Ganelda. She's innkeeper, and she says, we've got spicy mountain cheese downstairs, hard-cured boar sausage, gently smoked ham, and warm porridge. It's delicious.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Come on. Come on.
It's tithe day. We don't want to be late for the tithe.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to be late for tithe, would we?
Gerion, we have good to do today.
Okay. What are we doing today?
We're going to go speak to an elf. Preserve and save the life of the bear who took the life of our compatriot. All in the name of natural balance.
Okay.
Ortlieb is delighted.
The bear's dead?
What?
Is the bear dead?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it is not. You forget. You forgot. The bear's not dead. The bear's alive, but wounded.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I'm remembering.
Not
now.
being given free rein to do what it will, as a bear.
That's a bear. Okay. All right. This is a lot. I'm going to sit down and eat, and then we'll go talk to the elf.
Yeah, you're given a nice meal, and you hear screams in the town. We've been robbed! We've been robbed!
What?
No.
Yeah, it's outside in the town square. Robbed! Edel the grocer, who Gerion paid for his meal last night, is shouting it.
So they got robbed. Who was robbed? The Edel the grocer or the village?
No! The tithing chest! The tithing chest is gone! And Priendi comes down and goes, it appears that our shrine was robbed at night, and all of our treasures in the village have been taken away from us, and the gods shall be disappointed because we have nothing to offer.
Who would do something like that?
Thieves.
I've also dropped a picture of Priondi
Elves?
in the player aids. But
Could it be that dastardly elf?
Yeah, is there? I'm not up on
the elf. Everyone in the village. The elf. Irmi's like, it wouldn't be the elf. He doesn't ever. No, it most definitely would be the elf, Irmi. And they kind of scold her for defending the elf. They go, that troublemaker always comes into the village and causes a mountain of problems. And that's when you hear a voice speak up from the market and goes, no, I don't. There is a elf with long white hair in the village.
Is that the elf we're going to talk to later?
He is absolutely the elf, and he is here now.
Oh.
He goes, yeah, in fact, I'll drop the elf's photo there backstage as well. So, yeah, he's got a little flute, and he's just like, I will not stand here accused. They're like, where did he even appear from? Like, no one saw him earlier, but he's here now.
He's here now.
He's like, I'd come to do some trading. I heard there was fresh bread. There was a chance to pick up some bear meat, I heard.
There is no bear meat here, sir. My name is Ortlieb. I was going to speak to you later, but I will speak to you now. I'd heard that you were pestering this bear. And that you caused an attack which killed our friend.
Well, I heard he murdered the bear, and he points over at Gerion.
What? Huh?
Do you think he could murder a bear? Look at the state he's in.
I think he attacked a bear, and it was the cause of great celebration.
That is true.
According to everyone, all the evidence points to it. We have motive. A young woman was attacked by a bear. Hear me, I apologize. I'm sorry. He's
because
like,
of
he was a nice
your
elf.
interference with the bear.
My interference?
Yes.
Hold on. He goes, bear's gonna bear. If a bear came up into your house, tried to do something to you, you would chase it off, right?
I suppose. It depends.
You literally did earlier yesterday. You chased a bear off.
I suppose. What was the bear trying to do to you?
He was trying to tear my house apart and get my honeycombs.
Honeycombs?
Yes. I breed and raise bees.
You do?
Yes, I'm quite good at it.
I might be interested in speaking to you about trading some honey, but that's neither here nor there.
So wait, you didn't have an argument with a bear over I thought that y'all had a quarrel, like y'all, like y'all were best friends, and then you got in a real disagreement.
Tizzy.
Yeah, like I thought you were talking to the bear. Like Gerion is just way off.
Yeah, and
but mostly he's like making a
like,
lot of assumptions about elves.
The elf is like, this is nonsense, and
can't talk to a bear.
I understand that you were the focus of great celebration, but I must say that the two of you, the bear, and everyone here has disturbed my personal connection to the world. And with that, he just starts walking out of the village and kind of raises his hand sassy, like he's just like, forget it. And Ermi's like, you've upset the elf.
So
Seems he's upset me. He upset the bear.
He's
That's
very
horrendous.
upsetting, says Edel, the grocer, who puts his hands on his hips.
everybody seems really
That
upset.
elf stole the tithes. I bet if we go to his house, tear it limb from limb, we'll find that chest.
Whoa, why would he steal the tithe? It seems like he doesn't really deal in commerce very much.
They think about it, and they're like, yeah, we can't think of any motive other than to upset us. Maybe his gods are different. He doesn't want the gods to bless us.
I mean, he could have just done it because he's an elf.
I mean, he wants to trade with you, so if you're not here to trade with, then that would be bad for him. I mean, he seems like a bit of a jerk. He's got a bit of an attitude. I don't deny you there, but
Oh, yeah, he does have a bit of an attitude.
you're accusing him of quite a crime. Ortlieb is completely ignoring the fact that he suggested that the elf did the crime in the first place.
That was in the past. You can't live in the past.
I didn't say that. Who was the one to discover that the tithe was missing?
The blessed one. She went
Oh,
to
the
get
singer.
the chest and bring it down into the middle of the village so we could put our tithes in the tithe chest, the travel chest that moves from town to town and the village to the village. And it was gone. Yes,
was that the one that was in our
my
cart?
sight. No, that was actually Angus's contributions.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, okay. But the treasure chest is like big.
It's pretty large. everyone who lives in this village. Now, to be fair, there's not that many people that live here. You've seen the map.
Sure.
Is the chest that's missing, or after they all tithed?
The tithe was kept in a chest.
I thought they were going to pick up the tithe today. I'm confused.
A cart comes around and picks it up from them,
Yes.
Yes.
as I understand it. So Gerion is like 10 steps behind. Right. He's just now processing
Yeah.
that
So
the
is
chest
Emma.
was stolen.
Hear me.
And he
Go ahead, Gerion.
I was just gonna say, like, wait a minute. Everybody be quiet. The chest is big and heavy. It's full of coins and other things, valuables. Like, think how far could they have gotten? Like, and like somebody would have heard if they were in a cart or something, right?
You make a lot
Like-
of sense. And Irmi goes, and she places her small, delicate hand on Gerion's arm and she goes, there's been a string of robberies this past month.
String robberies?
A
String of robberies.
Okay. all
String
right.
robberies. Kittens. There's
String
kitten thieves.
So a string of robberies. Okay. But
What else has gone missing?
What's gone missing?
Remember the grocer's purse yesterday?
Wait, that happened?
That happened yesterday. You paid.
I'm missing
paid-
coins from my purse as well.
That's because you paid for things that you don't remember.
Thank you, Ortlieb.
It's normal for you. It's okay.
It's not normal.
No. It's something for us to talk about later. But
So there's the grocer's purse. There's the tithe. Like, if we
What
press
else?
Ermi further, what does she say?
It all seemed to start when the burning stone fell from the sky and landed in the fields.
what?
Yes. It was about a month ago. A stone fell from the skies. It was on fire. It landed in the fields.
Whose field?
The village was in free roaming grazing land. I happened to see it while I was
Which comes.
watching the flocks.
What? What happened to this stone? Where is it?
We put it in a chest, and we decided we would take it up to the shrine, and we were going to turn it in with the rest of the tithes because it was mysterious, smooth and dark.
Tariq is never around for these kind of moments.
No.
No.
No, probably off seducing some young blacksmith.
It's probably off
true.
at Fair Dock doing something puerile. All right. So
I'm gonna ask the singing priest. Is the stone missing as well?
The stone was in the chest, which happened to be taken and removed from the village proper, unless the chest is hidden somewhere in this village, which would be very strange, because it would mean one of our kind-hearted village people is a thief and a liar and a scoundrel. And her eyes kind of look over to Robosh the dwarf who runs the smithy, and he like shrugs like, why does everyone look at me?
There's some very xenophobic people.
They're not xenophobic. The dwarf is local. He comes from these very mountains. He's the same as having a bad and filthy neighbor who seldom takes care of his hygiene. And Robosh is like, I object to that, and I don't need to do none of this.
Some sensitivity in this place.
blessed-
God damn.
This blessed one.
We speak radically honest to each other.
Sounds
Can
mean.
Can we investigate the shrine?
Yeah, let's go
Yes.
to the shrine.
Okay.
Yeah. What Ortlieb said.
All right. Yeah, Ortlieb puts on a capelet and goes
It's-
to do this.
Yeah, it's kind of like a small chapel. It's very sparse. There's not a lot in there. And
Looking for clues.
Yeah, so some clues are things that would be unusual in the scene, maybe a sign of someone that's been there recently. There may have been people that came and went from the shrine during the day. She might even be able to tell you the people that she has talked to recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You could also you could try a tracking humanoid track if you want to see if people were coming and going, like off the beaten path.
I'm no good at that.
What's that again?
You don't have two.
Yeah, let's see. I have survival, not tracking though. Survival and orienteering is what.
Yeah, not going to help you.
Is.
But you could talk to the Blessed One, and she might have some insight.
Yes, I'll talk to the Blessed One about the ones that she's seen, and anybody that she's had an odd experience with in the last month or so.
She said, Robosh the dwarf has been acting very strange. Robosh the dwarf has been acting very strange. And it's other than his unsightly beard. He seems to be very tired and angry, which is uncommon for his usual cheery demeanor. I also met with Jadwine the Huntress. She wanted a prayer upon the forest, that the bears might not bleed out and would be healthy, and have plenty of berries to eat.
I think that's pretty kind. I'm willing to talk to this dwarf.
You want to go talk to Robosh?
I do. I feel like this dwarf is being maligned against.
You do that. So when you approach the dwarf, now he is in his smithy. There is the furnace is hot. You've never really met this dwarf, but he has heavy dark circles under his eyes. They are bloodshot red. He's mumbling into his beard, and he's just like, the heroes of the village. Hello.
Hello. I wanted to ask you, I'm wondering, could you rebalance my cudgel?
That I could do. Let me see your cudgel.
There we go. I give it to him.
He holds it out about a fairly nice piece. How often do you use it?
As little as possible, but I did hit a bear with it yesterday.
I can see that. He points out a little knock on it. Bear skull very hard.
Yes.
You hit harder by the looks of it. I heard that you gave that bear what for? Goodness gracious. That is... and then he yawns mid-sentence, and then he seems to fall asleep, waking up like a tired father.
All right.
He's holding a baby.
You...
Oh, what's going on? He fits right in with Gerion right now.
I don't mean to pry too much, but you seem exhausted.
What was that?
You seem exhausted.
I'm very, very tired and preoccupied, with things.
With what? What's going on?
I been having dreams. You can see, his skin is almost sickly at times. He's got massive scratches on his arms, and he's just having dreams all night long. It feels like I work when I sleep, and I sleep when I work. And he kind of trails off again, begins to drool a little. It's from exhaustion. He's not possessed or turning into a zombie.
Yeah.
What are you dreaming about, sir?
Keep seeing. Hard to say. But I think it has something to do with dragon babies. Maybe there's dragon babies. There's always this. Do you have treat soul at all?
I do. I'm very good at that.
This is what you need because it'll help draw out his memories.
All right, sweet.
While they're doing that, Grind's going to poke around, but he also is probably going to wander off because he has a wild idea.
Ooh, where's he wandering off to?
The Boren Yard.
Ooh. All right.
Because it's if this dwarf seems tired and whatever, and like a big chest of treasure is a huge pain. Like it would require a lot of people, probably, and a cart, unless it was kept around here somewhere else. And so Gerion's slow thought process is like, yeah, a grave might be a good place to hide it. That's why he wants to do that.
I passed with 1 degree of success.
Okay, so you have 1 QL. All right. Let's see. So, so here's what he says. So, he awoke in the middle of the woods at night and found himself alone. And his hands were dirty from working all day. But when he washed his hands, he had the residue of having worked in gold and other precious metals before then, which is unusual because he doesn't typically work in gold.
Gold like what might have been found in a tithing box?
He said the last time he worked in gold was 20 years ago. He says he doesn't know anything about tithing box. In fact, he's a little short this year.
Well, sorry to say that the tithing box has been stolen by somebody.
He's like, oh, dang, it was probably the dragon children that did it, the spawn of the dragon, which you feel might be nonsense.
Yeah. Do I get the impression that he's trying to...
He's not trying to misdirect.
Be dishonest?
No,
Okay.
That's just his dwarven ways.
All right. Does he mind if I... Can he lead me to the place in the forest where this happened?
He's kind of scared too. He says he has a full day's at work, and the woods are scary, but he'd be willing to go out with you.
I will pay him a day's wages.
His eyes get big. He's like, day wage to prance through the woods? Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's cut over to the boring yard where Gerion is. So you're looking for signs of things that have been buried other than people? Something like fresh?
Yeah, like the gears of Gerion's head are sort of just like slowly churning, and he can't get off this hole. They took a chest, like instead of any other means of getting it out of there. And so he's like, I mean, just start there, because like that's mostly he's like, that's where I would hide it.
What did you do when you coming into the cemetery? Like an old man with curly gray haired comes like coming out of a small little shack over there. He's like, yeah, you got relatives in there. You don't look like you're from around here.
No, I was gonna check out my friend Angus's grave. Just want to make sure it was fitting enough for him.
Oh yeah, I help you pick a beautiful site. And he explains that the field mouse family has like a plot. I was gonna bury him next to his sweet mother. She was a single ma'am, and she raised him. He's a good lad, bit of a traveler, and man gets a little weepy. He's like, picked out some cornflowers to bloom along the grave.
Oh, those are gonna be beautiful.
It'd be the most beautiful spot.
You mind if I just, have a few minutes? I know he's not been interred yet, but I just to contemplate, just.
Yeah, if you need any help with anything, I mean, I'm here.
Well, as you know, he doesn't have any survivors.
Oh, none.
So I'm executor of his affairs, and if need be, Gerion has a few skill points in fast talk.
Well, he you don't have to spend them. He's believing it. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm just a graveyard gardener. Hell of a life, if you ask me, for a small town.
Yeah.
I work maybe 2 days a year. Tomorrow's one of them.
Yeah. I'm surprised they employ a full-time gardener, to be honest. Then. Not gardener, but grave digger.
He's a gardener, too.
Oh, he's a gardener, too.
Yeah.
That's right.
He goes, well, I try to do a good job. Educate lest the spirits are unhappy.
Mm-hmm. And probably any problems with spirits around here?
Not around this part, no. But tell you what, there was a loud commotion last night. Like a
Last night?
wagon come through here? Yeah, late. There was a party down yonder at the Green Grain Tavern.
That was where I was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then late, it's like there was like a cart of some sort that came crashing through here. You could still see the tracks, and like he points out some wagon tracks that just kind of cut across the graveyard and go into the woods.
Oh. All right. Is there like a shrine box to bore on or anything like that? Like a little...
Not in here, no.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like every graveyard has a shrine or something.
He doesn't have one, but no.
Okay.
But he asks if there's anything else he can do for you. And if you want to do any other searching around here, he's mostly here to give you answers that you might otherwise not be able to get through lack of skills.
Sure.
He is an NPC.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind. I'm just gonna poke around and check out these tracks and other things for your time, and he'll hand him like a hailer, like the whatever the lowest denomination of coin is.
He
Couple of
appreciates
those.
it.
Yeah, there you go. For your troubles.
Kind.
For your troubles. And yeah, Gerion's looking for like any freshly turned earth. It looks like it was recently, exhumed or put back. And then he's going to check out these cart tracks.
You can tell that he hasn't even begun. He's good. He's going to wait for the sun to start to go down, and then he'll work through the cool night to prep the grave for Angus.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no digging or bearing here, but the tracks go clear off into the woods.
Oh, he's going to look around for Ortlieb.
You can tell with tracking as well. This was very much like a hand cart that was pulled by two people, no less.
Okay, pulled hand cart. Okay, pulled.
Yeah, and you can see very clearly if you follow the tracks backwards. It definitely came down from the shrine. Someone must have loaded it.
All right. He's gonna look back at the shrine, look to the woods. Last place he saw Ortlieb, and he's just gonna go up to the gardener and give him like another 10 pennies, hailers, and just be
As
like,
you exit the frame, he'll bite it.
Yeah. Do you mind like running up to the blacksmith, the dwarfs, and find an Ortlieb? He's the merchant in town.
Yeah, he comes running up, and meanwhile, Ortlieb has Robosh, Robosh, son of Barumax, the dwarf, like on the couch, and he's just like, and I've been trying to impress the lady dwarves with my works, but they just haven't been as good as they used to be due to the exhaustion. He's like on the brink of tears.
Yes, I understand. That's a difficult thing to deal with. But yes.
Out of curiosity, this is out of character, so hand on forehead. Jim and Emma, what do you suspect is wrong with the dwarf if you had to take a guess? Because that might advise some skills that might be helpful to discern.
I suspect he's been possessed by some power to do some sort of work to turn whatever the tithe gold is into something else.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some kind of magic.
Either that or it's aliens.
Like a spell. Yeah.
It's aliens.
Could be aliens. Like it to me, it seems as though like if this rock fell down and was with the tithe, then someone might want it and be using the dwarf to get it, but then it doesn't explain why he would be like super tired over a long time. Mm-hmm. But that's sort of where my thoughts are.
Okay. Do you think you have any skills that would help you discern the root of his
I would just treat soul, treat poison, treat disease.
You have treat poison?
I do. A little
Go
bit.
for it.
Okay, cool. Let's try it out. Same. I love how each treatment of things has different skills attached to it.
Yeah. This is a
Very
plant
beautiful.
poison.
Okay. A plant poison.
Yes. For those of you watching in chat, why did I give the lead? I wanted to see what the players were thinking, and thinking that maybe their characters, they can see things like it might be his complexion, or he might have a particular coloration of spots on his eyelids, or, you know, a scent, an odor.
I'm going to use one of my fate points to lower one of these a little bit, and if I do that, then
Sure.
I pass.
All right.
There you are.
Yeah, someone has clearly been adding additives to his food without him knowing.
Oh,
There are some strange, what we'd call like mixtures that have been added, a poison of some sort, made by something that grows in the forest. It's hard to tell exactly what it is based on what you rolled. And then, yeah, but the poison is weakening him and making him easier to manipulate. And then it's kind of like what we'd call a preparatory measure in order to perform other machinations on his mind.
yes.
Softening him up.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So who might have access to his food?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Did he mention that he stays in the tavern a lot? I don't recall.
That's where he typically eats.
So it could be the tavern keeper.
Oh, I got along with her so well. I can go ask her, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go.
I mean, yeah, Gerion is back at the boring yard. He's found a nice shady tree and he's asleep. He's waiting for Ortlieb to come back.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
The
I will go
gravedigger. Yeah.
Because that's what he paid the grave. He's like, go find this person, please.
Gravedigger's bringing you,
Yeah.
fetching you.
Fetching me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'll go with you. And we
You're the
can-
one with the mule?
Yes. Yes.
Great
Really.
mule.
He's got me really
Yeah.
less than I have the mule.
Good
But-
stock, good gams on that mule.
Yes.
Sturdy.
Yes.
You need it over at my yard. The graveyard, the boring yard.
Meet it at the graveyard. Who sent you?
Fancy chap, well-to-do, kind of, around
Eyeliner?
the eye. Yes.
Oh,
Fancy
okay. Let's go.
face. Handsome
Okay.
chap. Reminds me of me when I was younger. And then he like,
I can
you.
see it.
this is Gerion's father. No,
Dad.
Dad. No. He has like a dumb name too. It's like not a dumb name to the writers. It's not a dumb name. It's like a silly name. It's like Wimple or something like that.
Nice.
So, like,
Wimple.
so Wimple takes you over. I know I said it earlier, but I just not on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, he takes you over to Gerion.
All right. Wake up, Brian. Wake up.
All right. I'm up.
You wanted to see me?
Yeah, look at these giant cart tracks that head straight from the shrine into the woods.
Somebody's been poisoning the dwarf.
What?
Yes. Yes. Yes, they've been performing some sort of mind control.
Are we all?
Starts with poison.
Are we sure that we haven't stumbled upon two mysteries?
It's possible, but I'm not sure. The dwarf, I believe he'd been working with gold against his will, and the only gold's not very common here. I think perhaps he cast part of the tithe last night against his will,
Why would he do that?
because some powerful force is compelling him to.
The elf?
I mean, there's not really a reason to jump to those sorts of conclusions, but it's possible. What perhaps
Prejudice.
if we Yes,
Gravedigger's like, Elf wouldn't do nothing like that.
Okay.
he plays a little flute.
Heard stories.
Probably fine. I suggest that we follow this path and see where it leads.
Yeah. It's really bright out here, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Is the dwarf okay now?
No, and he's lonely. He's got a whole host of issues. It's an inferiority complex, personality disorders. It's a lot.
All that sounds like a lot of stuff.
He's gonna have to deal with it. My friend the innkeeper might be poisoning him. I'm not sure yet, but
What?
we'll figure that out later.
Angus really lived in a messed up place.
He did. Every place is messed up if you look hard enough.
So I guess we're following the path while we're just bantering.
Following the path.
Yeah.
Right.
Ortlieb. You got any food?
Do I? Yes,
Hey.
I do. I'm gonna give you stuff.
Yep.
The tracks lead you straight to a hunting lodge in the middle of the woods.
A hunting
it
lodge.
Stopped here. Yes.
Are there windows?
No.
Is this like a noble's hunting lodge, or is this more like just like a backwoods shed?
It's made out of solid stone. It's a one-story building. The roof has been timbered. There is a small window up high, but it's not. It's not like lower.
Ryan, I'll give you a boost so you can take a peep.
Okay. All right. See what I can see.
As you are boosting, the front door opens and Jadwine is standing there, very unimpressed. She heard the approach, and she's just like, "What are you doing here? You were not invited." And it's no time for guests.
There's no reason to butter this up. Why were you and one other person operating a handcart that went from the shrine to here last night?
I operated no handcart last night.
There's a trail which leads here that does.
Yes, and anyone could have pulled a handcart from anywhere to my house.
The trail stops here, though.
Yes.
And? If you have nothing to hide, can we come in?
She sighs heavily, and she kind of looks to the corner. There's a small broom in the corner. Her bow's up. She's kind of checking to make sure that the dishes are like clean and put away. And then she looks back at you, and she nods, and she invites you in.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got a fire going. She sits down at the table and is she looks at the two of you and is like, well,
Do you know about poisons, Jadwine?
yes.
Is it possible that you've been giving some to the dwarf?
That would be impossible that I would be giving them to the dwarf. He lives in the town, I live here. I eat here, he eats in town. He has not commissioned me to supply him with any poisons.
Has anybody commissioned you to supply them with poisons?
Yes, I have been commissioned to supply an individual with rat fungus.
Rat fungus?
Yes, it's vile.
What does it do?
weakens the mind, softens the soul.
Who
breaks
asked you
the
to do
intellect.
this?
I am not at liberty to divulge the names of my client.
Why not? I have reason to believe that they are giving it to the dwarf against his will.
That is very, very likely. In fact, the dwarf probably has a task. At that point, the door busts open, and Ganelda, the innkeeper, has the Blessed One of Prios, like fireman's carry. She's like tied up. She's like, "Quick, we gotta get her down to our lair and sacrifice." And she sees you both. Jadwine just looks back at you.
Why don't you just tell us what you're doing?
All right. Jadwine leans over and she raises her hand. She says, "I'm not going for a weapon. I'm not going to hit anyone." And she turns like a knot on the wall and it opens up a layer going down deep beneath her lodge.
It's down there.
Ganelda says, "A Blessed One of Prios," and goes down into it with the Blessed One.
Oh, hell no.
I hurry after her.
As you go down, it's a dark tunnel, unsuitable for Gerion. But it leads to a large dark cave. There are 5 individuals in dark robes. There is a gold statue in a shrine. And there's a strange emblem that could only be to the 13th god, the Nameless One.
Cultists.
Yeah.
Hot fuzz.
All right. Would you say, Grant, that we have reached the end of an act within the adventure?
Here's what I would say.
I'm talking about fate points.
Okay. I would say the end of this encounter would be the end of the act. However, we've kind of fast-forwarded through several chapters. Tell you what, you can make a compelling case and do something very interesting to get yourself a fate point.
So we got here faster than the other culprit who was carrying the Blessed One. So I think like that weighs strongly in terms of it hitting a milestone, as it were, within the game. I would say for Gerion, because here, all right. So let me approach this from a different angle. I want a fate point so that I can spend it to ignore all the terrible conditions that Gerion is under right now. So he would, maybe this perhaps could be justified as like the hangover breakfast kicks in, or like he had a particularly generous donation last night that he doesn't remember, that confers some kind of blessing. I don't know what sort of things would you consider appropriate for a sacrifice?
Here's what I would say. In this situation, I think if your action in the moment before the Blessed One of Prios is sacrificed to the Nameless One at the beginning of the Nameless Days, which happens at the end of the sun month of Raja, I will let you ignore any of those penalties.
Let's do it.
But it's gotta be phenomenal.
Yeah, no, he's gonna do everything he can to stop this. Like, we get here, the late, Jadwin comes out. She's playing it cool, playing it calm. She's clearly been caught, playing a little coy here. Other person comes in, the innkeep, really? And I think at that point, Gerion probably already has his sword in the process of being drawn, and would at the very least attempt to stop the innkeep from even getting close to that door. That's his immediate plan of action.
Okay, So here's what we'll do. Make an attack roll against this empowered by the Nameless One. And she's going to attempt to defend herself with her basilisk tongue.
Sure. I rolled a 5. That would succeed, accounting all of the penalties that he has, including undoubtedly the poor visibility in here.
So yes, you go right up and meet her sword to stone dagger, essentially, and she catches you. It is at this point that Ortlieb can act. What do you do?
Can I trip the innkeeper?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's about to go downstairs. I'd like to try
Send
to
her with the
trip her.
Blessed One. They both die on
if
impact.
I can, I'd like to grab the Blessed One.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
you can grab the Blessed One, or you can trip the cult.
I'm going to grab the Blessed One.
All right, you do that. You snatch her right off because she's trying to defend. She's like, no! Jadwine's not too sure what to do at this point, so she has to make a decision. Let's see. So Jadwine... Jadwine raises her bow and lets loose an arrow, and it catches the innkeeper in the back. And she says, "We would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling adventurers." And that's where we'll end, because we're at 2 hours time.
Oh, yeah,
She's turn, yeah. I rolled a 13 on the die, the unlucky number. I was going to say odds.
Oh, I see. Okay.
She's going to try to get out of it, even.
Gotcha. Okay. I was
dies.
like, wait a minute. She's going to, they're infighting now?
They are. It's one of those things she had to
Nice.
decide. She was like, you know what? Now is
Yeah.
not the time for the rising of the Nameless One.
Right. No,
So
that's the time. I cue the, flash to the end of it where like Gerion and Ortlieb come covered with blood from their brutal slaughter underneath the hunting
Well, here's the
lodge,
thing.
the
Well,
13th god.
So the cult members down there, if you start like unhooding them, they're like all the people that you were at the party
nice.
with. Like most of them have been poisoned and convinced to be it. So this is sort of a fast forward version of the adventure Revelations from Heaven. You can find the miraculous rock that could be crafted into a dark eye and things like that.
Cool.
But hope you enjoyed our quick 2-hour session and exploring more of the world.
I really like that. Like, the village cult is a kind of a staple of dark fantasy, but it doesn't usually take serious the fact that these cultists come from around here.
Yes.
Like every cultist that you fight in a fantasy RPG is like, has a family, has a home. Like they joined the cult for a reason.
Edel has all sorts of excuses as to why he's a cult. Remember the grocer who was all fuzzy? He's like, well, I was poisoned first. And like he has a bunch of excuses. Like it's a good adventure. So this is sort of
cool. I really like that.
That's awesome.
And then you get to decide what you want to do with the gold statue and the other things. But yeah. So hope you who watch this enjoyed another foray one shot into the Dark Eye. Next week will be our finale. Let's go around and let everyone know where we can find each other online, and we'll start with the right side of the screen. Emma, where can we find you?
That was great fun. Thank you for running it for us, Grant. I am Emma. I'm the acting CEO of WebDM. And if you want to see pictures of soups and other meals that I make, you can follow me on Emma Wrote on Twitter. Or otherwise, check out everything we do as WebDM. We do actual plays. We do advice videos and podcasts. And we also have a Patreon where we answer questions directly from our patrons and do all sorts of other things. And if you want to support the players in all of our streams, you can join our WebDM Plays Patreon. I would encourage you to do that. Thank you.
And Jim.
Yes, ditto. I am a creative director and co-host. That's right, co-host of WebDM. Everything Emma said is true and should be followed with the utmost passion that your life can sustain. I also sort of feel like that bears, dogs, and boars are top 3 animals that are tougher than monsters, and will always treat them like it's a bear. Like, we couldn't have fought a basilisk or something.
There's no tricks to fighting a bear. And
right. It's just all fur
protect
and
your head.
It's funny, I'd roll to see if the bear would like come down from its frenzy, and then you would frenzy it again by hurting it so badly. So it's like, I failed my willpower, I'm mad again.
Right.
And as for me, my name is Granulus. You can catch me on the post show, and we can talk about the Dark Eye and what's coming up in the future here on WebDM Plays. Next week, as mentioned earlier, will be the finale of the Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Goodbye.